I think the mom from Iron Giant is the reason I like Tired Mom Eyes.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the horrorofbabylonpodcast@gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to the Treehouse of Horror of Babylon. Episode 7, Married to the Blob. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
And this is also the Blobathon, episode 4. The finale. The finale of the Blobathon.
Is this the best Blob?
I think you can make an argument.
Yeah.
All right, thank you to our patrons, Abigail, the First Breaker, Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron. And thank you to Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, or the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and say hello to Ronald III, Krampus of Christmas, who always finds an excuse to stop making out with me.
I ship it.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Background. This episode originally aired November 5th, 2006. This is Treehouse of Horror 17, which is Season 18, Episode 4. This is Episode 382 overall. It's the first of 3 segments. The second segment is probably one of my favorite titles of all time. You Gotta Know When to Golem.
Is The Simpsons the reason you're so good with puns?
Maybe. You Gotta Know When to Golem, which is a parody of The Golem. And the third segment is The Day the Earth Looks Stupid, which of course is a parody of The Day the Earth Stood Still. This was directed by David Silverman, who has directed more episodes of The Simpsons than any other person, and he also directed The Simpsons movie.
You know what's weird? Is this felt the most Simpsons-y of like all the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors we've watched so far?
Yeah, it's pretty Simpson-y.
And that explains a lot.
It was written by Peter Gaffney, who also wrote for Married with Children and Beavis and Butthead.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible 3-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
Structure and themes. How does this adapt the story of the Blob?
Just kind of does. A meteor falls and then the Blob eats things.
Which is the story of the Blob.
And it's like most basic components. That's the plot.
I mean, yeah, and that's,
yeah.
As far as the first 2 movies, that's really as far as it goes.
And that's honestly all you need.
Yeah.
Wasn't that both of our Koontzes was they over-explained the Blob? The Blob
in the third one?
Yeah.
Completely agree. Homer eats the Blob.
And he becomes the Blob.
He becomes the Blob and starts eating people.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
So for her characters, Homer is the Blob. Would you, if you were making out with Marge in the backyard and a meteor crashed and it cracked open and there was like a little melty, like a green glowing melted marshmallow, would your first thought be to pop that in your mouth and swallow it?
Nothing on this planet could get me to stop making out with a woman like Marge.
No. Nothing. Not even a meteorite.
Besides her being an enabler, she's like the perfect wife.
Yeah, no, completely agree. No, that's why she's the perfect wife. She will enable all of my bad habits.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There was a episode I watched recently. Homer gets hypnotized into thinking he's 10 years old. And at the end of the episode,
Does Marge pull a Humbert on him?
No. But she wants to. I mean, she doesn't want to, but she wants it.
Okay.
At the end of the episode, they have to get the hypnotist to turn him back. And she goes up to the hypnotist and says, "Can you change one thing?" And she asks him to make it so that Homer wants to cuddle after they have sex. And the
Homer doesn't want to cuddle with Marge.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah, I should know that.
The best joke is, and the hypnotist says, "That's the only thing you want to change about him. Everything else about that man is perfect except that one thing." She goes, "Yeah, that's it. That's all I want you to change." So, good luck finding your Marge, everybody.
Oh my god.
You even got, like, the teenagers were, like, the first, like, big group that he went after. And, of course, teenagers are, like, the big thing in all three of the movies.
And they're a big thing in a lot of horror movies, too.
Yeah, I mean...
Like the dumb teenagers getting slaughtered is, like, a big trope.
And it even, like, you know... Teenagers are out on the beach around fires getting drunk. They get in barbecue
teenager.
Oh, teenagers.
I'm like, oh god, in a different context, this could be really bad.
Yeah. Oh, 17-year-old girls. Oh.
You know what I like about high school girls?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Brian is Humbert. His name is Brian.
From Family Guy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I guess dog years, like, is that his excuse?
I don't know.
I don't watch the Family Guy.
I mean, that's where that quote is from, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's Brian.
Well, it's from Dazed and Confused.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they're making fun of.
Oh, I've never seen Dazed and Confused.
Okay. Matthew McConaughey says that line.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just remember Brian saying it in Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I got confused.
That's fine. I thought maybe like they revealed something about Brian that I didn't know.
No, I don't watch Family Guy anymore, but that joke is from like...
I think the only like Seth MacFarlane cartoon we watch is American Dad.
That's the only one I watch.
Yeah.
But that joke was from like season 2.
It was like super early.
Yeah, like back when I watched... Because in high school, Hef and Chad and I would just watch Family Guy.
Yeah, look up Matthew McConaughey saying that line sometime. It's great.
I'll kill you all! I'll drive you crazy, and I'll kill you all! I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
And then Dr. Phil appears. I don't like Dr. Phil. I enjoyed watching him get eaten.
I thought it was funny at first because it was a very Dr. Phil-y sort of interaction. I like to watch people reacting to Dr. Phil. I don't like to actually give him ratings.
No.
But like when people like are talking about like what he's doing and stuff, I think that can be kind of funny when people are playing off of it.
Yeah.
Spoiler, my worst joke is like when he eats Dr. Phil and says he tastes like so and so. I'm like, I don't know who that is, so this isn't funny. Yeah.
Oh, you know who it is, you just don't know his name.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's one of those character actors.
Okay, so I guess it tastes like him because they kind of have the same like balding effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's still my worst joke.
I mean, Dr. Phil is mine too, but I enjoyed watching him die. But
yeah. What's your best joke?
You always find excuses to stop making out.
That was pretty good. I was kind of partial to like the whole teenager section.
Yeah, that was always funny.
I almost had a better joke, but it went a different direction. Marge comes in and says, "You'll eat our son, but you won't eat my." I thought I was gonna go super dirty.
They would never say that.
And then you go stuffed peppers. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was almost super great."
Also,
because Homer does strike me as a dude who would not go down on his wife,
which I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
Also, what did the German people ever do to deserve this? Oh. And then, as terrible as it was, I think it's hilarious that they...
The homeless joke is super funny.
Yeah.
It's just kind of super dark.
It's pretty dark.
Homelessness is like one of those super serious issues that people love to talk about. I got in such a huge argument in a thread about homelessness the other day. It was like this cartoon making fun of people like going, we need to do something about homelessness. Then they sit around a Starbucks and just talk about it. And he's like, well, what are they supposed to do? they don't have the money to make a real change. And I just posted that like Quagmire line where he's like making fun of Brian and goes, grab a ladle. Like doing literally anything than just bitching about it is better. When I was making before I was in so much debt, I used to donate to homeless shelters all the time, which quite picking up a ladle, but it was something.
I volunteered at our local homeless shelter twice. However, the second time I did, I tripped over a chair and dumped a whole glass of milk all over a homeless man.
I'm sorry. That's a bad experience.
I haven't been back since. Which is maybe worse, but...
No, you still made an honest attempt.
Yeah.
But this was a joke about, like, oh, why don't we just... It's like the Soylent Green joke. Mm-hmm. Let's just feed him to a giant blob monster. So it's a dark joke, but it is funny.
And I've done other volunteer a few weeks ago, my company sponsored a tree planting thing, and we went out and planted... Collectively, we planted 250 trees.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And I did about 30 and fucked up my arm for a good week and a half.
I know I don't work with you, but I would have gladly helped.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of good... I think, like, the Ring one is just generally pretty funny.
Yeah.
Throughout.
I don't think we've seen a bad one. I don't know if there are bad ones, but...
There are. I don't know, like... I don't think I've seen one that made me mad it was so bad.
But, like, just not funny.
There are definitely, like, this is so, like, middle of the road. There was a stretch in, like, the season 20s where they kind of... I don't want to say they ran out of horror movies, but they ran out of, like, super popular horror movies to parody, and they just started parodying, like, other movies.
Yeah, okay. Making it horror.
I'm trying to think of an example, but...
I mean, I'm sure we'll get to one eventually.
Yeah.
Because I've honestly been enjoying doing these as like our little side project.
No. Yeah, they're super fun. But they didn't do Castaway. But let's say they did a Treehouse of Horror on Castaway. Like, it's something like that.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And, you know, they may or may not have still been funny, but it was, yeah.
It's not a horror movie. It's not a horror parody.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Like, last year, they did one on Westworld, which isn't really horror. It isn't horror, I guess. Actually, I haven't seen Westworld, so I'm going to shut up. I don't know.
I don't think it qualifies, but I'm also not that big of a fan of the show, so...
Yeah. I haven't seen any of it.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Kiss me, fat boy. What would you do for 5 minutes in a hammock with Marge? Anything.
I would ask her how pregnant she plans on being for the next 9 months.
No, what would you do in order to have 5 minutes?
Oh, to get 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I would eat every homeless person that exists. I would throw away every moral I have.
Yeah, I would. There's not much I wouldn't do.
I mean, you've had conversations with me. I'm pretty sure I'm actually a sex addict.
Yeah.
And for someone like Marge, I'd go a lot further than I normally do.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that I wouldn't do, for sure.
And then I would get her pregnant.
Okay. I mean, good. Homer's sterile from the nuclear plant, so
yeah,
he can't do it. And that's what she wants.
She deserves 9 children.
She does. Just like Minjula Nahasapima Petalon. No, they have 8. They have octuplets. Never mind. Sorry.
Oh my god, are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Kings and Koontz, what is your king for Married to the Blob?
I like it when parodies are actually decent parodies of the thing that they're doing. You know, like, this is the Blob. It's the Blob story.
Yeah.
But they find ways to make it funny. Like, they have that Sir Mix-a-Lot parody song.
I like that. I can't sing it, but yeah, it's funny.
But that's funny. The different people being flavored differently is funny. Yeah. The teenager scene is fun. But playing into, like, the actual Blob story, which, again, not super complex.
No.
But when they choose to actually play into the story, I feel it's better when then they try to, like, be too different.
It's what they normally do.
Yeah.
But mine is the same. No, actually, mine is just fantasizing about
Marge.
Hanging out. People are going to stop listening to us because they just think we're obsessed with Marge.
If our few listeners haven't figured out that I'm a sex pervert by this point.
And I'm not. I just fetishize Marge.
Yeah, you just have a type.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's the reason I watch. Because I just want that.
You got me off guard. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, I've been watching The Simpsons since I was in 4th grade, and I'm pretty sure she is the TV mom that I have seen in my eyeballs most.
I think the mom from Iron Giant is the reason I like Tired Mom Eyes. Or she's one of the reasons.
I've only seen that movie once.
Yeah. She just looks like a woman who would be perpetually exhausted with my bullshit.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
God, this kid's ears. These ears always get me. And this guy's not even his dad, and they have the same damn ears. You know what this animation style reminds me the most of?
What?
8 Crazy Nights.
Oh, I'm never going to be able to unsee it.
Koontz. Oh, fuck. I hate doing Koontzes for these.
This one's kind of hard. Like, the fact that the joke wasn't you'll eat our son but won't go down on me. That's my Koontz.
My Koontz is that they were making out fully dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to pretend that's that stuffed peppers is a euphemism for that.
Marge uses lots of I don't think she's ever said sex once. It's always snuggling. So she's all about the euphemisms.
Okay, there we go.
All right, ranking. This is also hard.
Mine's gonna be I'm trying to figure out if I'm putting it above or below Dead Ringer. I think I will put it at number 5, right below Dead Ringer. I think that there were more consistently funny jokes, but I also really enjoyed just getting a Ring parody that was a decent parody of The Ring. So that kind of appeals to me a little more.
And I'm gonna put it one lower at number 6. I don't know if it's necessarily worse than Bart Simpson's Dracula, but that Bart Simpson's Dracula is a pretty iconic one from when I was a kid.
And these are going to get harder as we go, so...
Yeah, they're going to get way harder. Okay, and then for Zombie Day, I just have a quick thing that doesn't come up a lot. They actually recycled the episode title Married to the Blob. They reused that title for episode 504. Which is the episode where Comic Book Guy gets married.
That's mean to him, but it's also kind of accurate.
Yeah, it is. Homer the Blob versus Dracula Mr. Burns versus Pennywise Krusty. Who wins? Throw down.
I think it comes down to Blob Homer and Pennywise Krusty.
Yeah.
I don't think Pennywise Krusty is as powerful as Book Pennywise. They never really apply that super Cosmo. I think he could eat Pennywise Krusty.
Yeah.
I think the only defense, his only chance is to turn himself into, broccoli. Or something I don't know what Homer doesn't like. I assume, vegetables.
There's a Treehouse of Horror where he eats broccoli and dies.
Okay, so...
And he has to... St. Peter's sends him back to... He has 24 hours to do one good deed. It's fun. He's lying on the floor dead, and Dr. Hibbert comes in, and he's like, "Why did you let him eat broccoli?" And she's like, "Well, it's good for you." "No, it's terrible for you. It tries to warn you with its terrible taste." Which, I love broccoli, but...
I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts. I love asparagus.
Yeah, those are all great. No, I think... I don't think Pennywise could really turn into something that would scare Blob Homer. So I think Blob Homer would just roll over top of him and digest him, and Krusty Pennywise would be stuck in there with Dr. Phil, who tastes like Jeffrey Tambor.
Who I finally know who he is.
Yeah. Now, my 2 favorite Jeffrey Tambor roles is Virginia's gay dad in Raising Hope.
That's pretty up there.
And he's also the villain in Muppets from Outer Space.
I like him in Arrested Development.
Oh yeah, he's in that show. Okay.
He's the dad in Arrested. He's a good dad, a good sort of bad dad character.
I thought Jason Bateman was the dad in Arrested Development. Is Jason Bateman in?
I mean, he's Jason Bateman's dad. He's the patriarch of the family.
Oh, okay. I haven't actually watched that show.
I think you'd like it. I don't know if you'd love it.
Well, then I won't watch it.
Yeah.
All right, question for the listeners. Who's your favorite Treehouse of Horror character? Is it Devil Flanders, Is it Panther Marge? Oh my god, Panther Marge. If I'm ever a furry, it's because of Panther Marge. Is it the gibberish, shouting, swearing leprechaun?
We'll go to AntherCon and I'll make you a Panther Marge suit.
Yes, I will totally be Panther Marge.
We'll go with Ash. We'll make him happy.
For the further reading, obviously check out the Blob movies. And also another good Treehouse of Horror, if you like the Blob, is Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores, which is where all of the...
Oh, that was a joke I kind of liked. The
50-Foot Lenny
and Invisible Carl.
Yeah, that was funny. Everybody's paying attention to Homer.
I just think that's kind of funny because it implies like other shit going on in the town.
Yeah.
But you're focused on the Simpsons because it's their show.
Oh, you know another good one? Birds. They do a Treehouse of Horror on the birds.
That would be a good one.
But it's dolphins. Dolphins come out of the ocean and kill everyone.
Okay. Well, we'll have to cover that one at some point.
It opens as Jaws, and Lenny is in the ocean, and he's swimming, and he's like, oh, there's no better combination than night swimming and drinking. And then he gets attacked by dolphins. So. All right, upcoming on the Horror of Babylon, our next 3 Sunday episodes are going to be the 2 Lolita films in a double feature where we compare and contrast. And then the next Sunday we will be reviewing the manga MW by Osamu Tezuka. And then our next novel is the following Sunday with Salem's Lot by Stephen King.
Finally!
I thought we were going to do that in like episode 10.
Yeah.
Nope. And Hef will be back for that. And then our next 2 bonus episodes are going to be both sponsored by Horsemen Comics. The next one will be The Toxic Avenger. And then the next one will be Fly from 1970, directed by John Lennon and Yoko Ono, which
is apparently not The Fly.
No. I found it.
Yeah.
I watched just a smidge of it, and I think it's going to be lower than Roar.
Is it lower for, like, moral reasons?
It's just the camera panning over a fly crawling across the body of a naked woman.
Yoko Ono, you ruined the Beatles, and now you ruined cinema.
Exactly. It's like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
This is my new girlfriend, Yoko. Have you seen those memes like women if they had a time machine, men if they had a time machine?
Mm-hmm.
Yours would be, hey, don't go out with Yoko.
I would just kill her. Just like take no chances, assassinate Yoko Ono. Okay. All right. Thank you to our patrons: Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons,
and Logan,
the Full Metal Patron. And thank you to Horsemen Comics and Gaming for making us watch god-awful movies. Although I hear Toxic Avenger is pretty decent. You can visit.
It depends on the reasons you like it.
I'm okay with stupid funny.
Okay.
All right. You can visit them at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, or the Mall at Robinson at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and say hello to the worst. Who's the worst Avenger?
Are we talking like comics or like MCU?
I was talking comics.
Okay.
I guess it would be easier to come up with an answer if you said MCU.
Worst Avenger. It also depends on like who's the comic wise. It depends on who the writer is.
Yeah.
And like what story. I don't know. This may be a pre-show.
Top 5 worst Avengers, and any continuity, any reasoning. It can be MCU. It can be Earth 616, whatever you want to do with it. I'm only going to limit myself to Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon.
I mean, that would help.
Top 5 worst Avengers. I'll do top 5 worst X-Men, and we'll tell Hef to do top 5 worst members of the Fantastic Four. And that'll be our pre-show for Salem's Lot.
Dosan. I really gotta start calling him Dosan.
Dosan.
You should have been here for Inkazuman.
Yeah, you really should have.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, stay tuned for our socials and stay scary.
Love you.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that the Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.
She was my phone background image at some point in my life.
Oh, wait, that's not...
You said it to the wrong person.
Whoops.
This is the best night of my life. We gotta talk about the rank hits and people the wrong hand he used fan words.
My...
I fucking love Ron.